So this here is everything your rail is going to come with. Of course, you've got the rail itself right there, the wrench for the barrel nut, their locking plate, the instruction manual, a couple of shims for the barrel, seven little screws, just in case you mess up with one. You only need 6. It also comes with the Allen key for them, and then these 2 accessory pieces for the m-lok system. You've got a little sling plate and then a small rail section, and of course the Allen keys that correspond to those. So just to show you guys, this here is my barrel with everything removed. I'm not going to do a barrel disassembly video. There are plenty of others out there, and mine was kind of a hack job. This PSA upper was a pain to remove. As I previously guessed, the pins for the front sight post were peened over, so I had to cut the front sight post off. I also had to make a very makeshift rig for my AR wrench to get the barrel nut off because it was just extremely tight. I actually broke a vise trying to get that off. So yeah, I'm not going to be showing a video of that. There are other resources. But you basically want to start like this, have a nice clean platform. Now the first step, of course, is to have your barrel in place. I have mine in a little vise block, and I have it pressed all the way in. You'll want to make sure there's some oil or grease on here to make it a bit easier to take off in the future if you ever need to realign anything. So you're going to take your barrel nut here. It has the sticker on it. Just reminds you to only torque this lower section. Do not torque up here. You'll probably bend it off. So you're just going to take this on and slide it across, and then you can hand tighten it. Now that you've gotten a little bit snug by hand, you're going to want to take the supplied wrench and attach it to a torque wrench, and then tighten up this barrel nut. Up to 35 pounds is what they recommend using. After it's tightened to your liking, you can take the locking piece here and slide it right in. You'll want to kind of keep this notch facing upwards. It doesn't really matter if it's not perfectly aligned right yet, but we'll make sure the alignment is right in a little bit. One thing you have to make sure is that the barrel nut itself doesn't obstruct the access to these holes here. This is what the rail actually screws into, and you'll want to make sure that these are not blocked anywhere all the way around. If it is blocked, you just take the nut off, put a shim on, and then see if it fixes that. They provide several shims for exactly this purpose, so if you need to use them, they are supplied. Now we're ready to put on the gas block and the gas tube. Now it's very important to align the little hole here where the gas comes out with the hole in your gas block. So what you'll want to do is take a pencil and just kind of mark a line that lines up right with your right with the little gas port. What I recommend doing next is getting your gas block ready by putting the gas tube in it. Here you see I've got mine in and pinned, and I have the grub screws ready to go. You'll want to do the same on your gas block by making a little mark that lines up with the gas port. Now it's just a matter of sliding the gas block on, getting it into the little port in the back, and then lining up the 2 marks you made here, and then tightening it. Now that you've got it lined up, you're going to want to tighten one of the grub screws by hand. Just make sure it stays lined up, and tighten one of them. And then you can remove the second one, put a little Loctite on it, tighten that one, then remove this first one, put some Loctite on it, and put it back in. That'll make sure everything stays lined up. Now, so long as your flash hider fits inside the rail, you can put it back on. Once you have the gas block installed, you can put the handguard on. Now again, make sure this little locking piece has the notch facing up. That'll help make it easier to align in just a moment. Then you're just going to kind of wiggle it on. Now is when you can take it out of your vise block and get ready to clamp the handguard down. So now we have the rail slid all the way down. As you can see, it notches over the receiver, which helps to stabilize it. And what you want to do now is make sure that these holes are aligned with the threading. And if it's not, you can use an Allen key or screwdriver to get it all nice and lined up and ready to clamp down. Alright, now we're going to take these supplied screws and put them in to the slots. I like to start by hand tightening them. That way you make sure they all go in all the way around. There are two there, two here on the bottom, and then two more on this side. Now that you've made sure everything is aligned correctly, you can apply Loctite if you so desire. I've heard mixed results of people using Loctite. Sometimes these little bolts strip, but you can contact UTG and they will send you replacements if that does happen. So I'm actually going to put a little bit of Loctite on them. That way I don't have to torque these down too hard that I might damage the screws. So we're simply going to unscrew them one at a time, put Loctite on it, and tighten it down as tight as we want it to go. After you've tightened everything down, you should have a fully assembled UTG Pro rail. This assembly works for both the M-lok and the Keymod, if you didn't already know. And after that, you can start applying whatever accessories you want to your new m-lok rail. I did a little bit of shooting with this after installing it, and I actually found it to be pretty good about keeping heat down. There's plenty of ventilation, which is nice, and it actually stayed cooler than the standard A2 handguards, even though this is a lot thinner. This is only 1.5 inches wide on the outer diameter. But anyways, guys, if you found this video helpful, please give it a like. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. And if you want to see more videos, just hit subscribe. Thank you.
Not too hot, so it's pretty comfortable.